Having reviewed all matters pertaining to this case, having listened to arguments by counsel, also having read counsel's very thorough brief, this court finds that there are no grounds on which to reverse judgment of the original court decision. This court further finds...
Now, hold it. What are you talking about? All these words. You're just going through the motions here.
Wade, sorry for the interruption, Your Honor.
No, don't apologize. This is my final shot for an appeal.
Mr. Kimball, I suggest you calm down.
And I suggest that somebody give me a fair trial.
Your Honor, may I have a moment with my client, please?
No, you may not, Miss Parsons. This court is going to admonish your client to...
Admonished? Oh, there she goes again, using this legalese, mumble-jumble. The bottom line is, do I get a new trial or don't I?
Wade, no. At the moment, you're not crying.
I have got to have a new trial. I am innocent. Doesn't anybody care?
This matter is now out of my hands. Court is now adjourned.
I want you to sit down.
You know, you're no judge. You're just a rubber stamp for a legal system that stinks. 2 years. 2 years of my life I spent in prison for a murder that I didn't commit.
Hold it right there.
Drop that gun! Hold it! Get down, everybody! Get down! Control, this is 9 out of 15. We're in pursuit of an ADW 215.
Some client you inherited, CJ.
Houston, his lawyer of record had a heart attack and called me at the last minute. What was I supposed to do?
You ever consider saying no?
No. I did some digging and I'm convinced that he's innocent.
It's good enough for me, CJ.
Have your guys cool it for now. I'll tell you when.
Your client's not being very cooperative. Things could get very hairy very fast.
Is anybody with him?
His wife, kid, and a 38 special he took from the bailiff when he busted out of the courthouse.
Listen, being an ex-cop, he's bound to have a lot more firepower in there.
Hoyt, let me talk to him.
You did your talking in court.
Hoyt, what's the matter with you? That man has got a woman and child in there. One small backfire and this whole thing could go up. Give her a shot.
All right. Give it a try.
Wade, it's C.J. Parsons. Listen to me, I can't promise you anything, but please, let's try to work something out. There's the hope that we can get another trial.
What hope? Where do you go after a final appeal? I mean, I've got two options, a life in the joint or death out here in Van Nuys. Now, that's some future, isn't it?
Wade, listen to me. Do you remember I told you about Matt Houston? He's a private detective. He's the best. He can help you. Let him just talk to you for a couple of minutes.
How do I know I can trust him?
Wade, you can trust me or shoot me. I'm giving my gun to Lieutenant Hoyt, and I'm coming in.
The only reason I'm letting you do this, Houston, is because I knew Kimball. I liked him. In a strange sort of way, I owe him.
Open up, Kimball. I want to talk to you.
Wade, someone has to help.
Daddy, please!
I could talk a whole lot better if you weren't pointing that thing at me.
I never agreed to talk to you.
Wade, at least listen to the man.
Why? Listen's all I've done for 2 years. Lawyers, judges. All right, there's one thing you can do for me. You can take my wife and my daughter and get them out of here.
We're staying here with my daddy.
Nan, you just take Sonny and go. That's an order.
Clock's running out, Houston.
Now, listen to me, Kimball. You don't have to talk. You don't have to listen. That's your privilege. But it is not your privilege to risk their lives. They are sticking here because they love you.
Then why are you here?
Because C.J. Parsons believes you're innocent, and I am sticking my neck out to prove her right.
I don't want you to be hurt, Daddy.
Wade. Me and Sonny, we know you're innocent. But you'll never convince anyone else by hiding. Or by maybe even dying in here. Oh.
They are just doing their job, just like your daddy used to do when he was a policeman.
But he didn't do anything wrong. He never killed anybody.
I know that, sweetie. And I'm gonna do my best to prove that.
Why won't they let my daddy come back home and live with us?
Come here. Great. Coming in. Well, CJ, what has baby got for us tonight?
Oh, a little action sequence with a real sock opening. Tyrone Hadley, the man our new client is convicted of shooting to death 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember this case. Now, Hadley was supposedly a high up in the syndicate, in charge of all the incoming drug shipments.
Hadley's smiling because he walked into that courtroom facing a 15-year prison sentence and he walked out a free man.
The judge kicked him loose on a technicality, no search warrant.
Which resulted in this. There's your sock opening.
Well, that's our client, Kimball, attacking Hadley.
Out of sheer frustration, Kimball and his partner spent 6 months building up an ironclad case against Hadley.
Yeah, case it went right down the judicial toilet. I mean, no wonder Kimball lost his cool. Who's the man pulling Kimball off Hadley?
That's Terry Spence, Kimball's ex-partner. Too bad he wasn't around when Hadley was killed and the weapon turned out to be Kimball's service revolver.
Yeah. Were there any witnesses that placed our client at the murder scene?
No, but then he could never prove where he was that night. In fact, he didn't come up with an alibi till halfway through the trial.
That's right, I remember. It's the famous woman in white alibi.
That's right, his lone alibi. The problem with that is that nobody ever saw her, no trace of her was ever discovered, and the jury assumed she never really existed.
Yeah. Well, it is a little bit far-fetched.
By the way, Spence, our client's partner, got burned. He perjured himself at the trial trying to protect Kimball, so they bounced him off the force for it.
I would like to talk to him, but not right now. Why don't you go home, get some sleep, meet me back here at 8 a.m.
Where are we going?
Directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Okay, fine.
say, what's the big rush? Don't answer. My heart don't start beating until after my third cup of coffee.
All I want is conversation with Kimball and let CJ get a look-see at the Hadley file.
A waste of time. CJ's predecessor went through those files with a fine-tooth comb. Nothing.
Listen, Hoyt, yesterday, when I brought Kimball and his family out of that house, you said something like, well, in a strange sort of way, you owed him. What did it mean?
What it means is that Hoyt and a few of his fellow cops are on a guilt trip because they turn the other way when their superiors took Kimball to the wolves.
There were some pressure groups. Kept screaming police cover-up. Internal affairs never gave Kimball a fair shake.
And what they did give him, Hoyt, was a life sentence in San Quentin.
Jensen. This is Miss C.J. Parsons. She's a lawyer. She's to have full access to the Hadley murder files.
Yes, Lieutenant. Right this way, Miss Parsons.
So you busted Hadley with $3 million worth of coke in his car, and the judge threw the whole thing out because you had no search warrant and no probable cause.
Look, I know I was at fault, but you have to understand that this was a now or never situation, so I went for it.
Listen, where was your partner Spence at this time?
We staked out at Woodland Park. That's where the buy was supposed to go down, but we weren't sure it would.
Okay, well, what about this so-called woman in white alibi?
She exists. She was with me when Hadley was killed.
Kimball, you didn't even bring her up until halfway through your trial. Now, most people think that you just made her up.
I was trying to hide something from my family. Something I'm not proud of. God, it was the only time I cheated on Nan. I was so bombed. I was brooding. I was sore as hell. They cut Hadley free. I wake up the next day in some sleaze bag motel and my alibi, long gone.
No name?
Nah. All I could remember was her face in that white dress. Real different. Had a lot of that, fancy lace.
Kimball, you still contend that you met her in the Code 3 bar, but listen, you've been in prison now for 2 years. You've had an awful lot of time to sit and think. Can you think of anybody that would want to kill Hadley and frame you?
If I had to bet on it, I'd say that Hadley's boss, Jerome Valentine, he ordered the hit on Hadley.
Well, that makes sense. The mob doesn't like publicity, and Hadley had an awful lot of that going on at the time you busted him. But why frame you?
Because I think Valentine knew that I was not going to give up on him until I nailed him and that whole outfit of his. Look, at this way, he could kill two birds with one stone.
And maybe one woman in white, huh? Any luck on the Hadley file?
Zip, like the man said, the investigation was over before it began.
What about Terry Spence, our client's partner?
Well, he runs the Regency Trucking Company in the Valley. I've got the address.
Excuse me, Mr. Houston. Della Palmer, KBBZ TV News, and this is a live remote. Mind answering a few questions?
No, not at all. Of course not.
Is it true you're now representing former police officer Wade Kimball?
Yes, I am.
Then will you be searching for that woman?
Mr. Valentine, Houston's on TV. What are you going to do?
I'm going to do nothing. However, if they get too close, you are going to stop them from breathing.
Care to comment?
No, I wouldn't. See, that might tip my hand to the guilty party. Hey, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Della Palmer, KBBZ TV News.
And then after you do that, make sure all that stuff on the north dock gets brought inside, all right? Okay, good deal. Hey, Craig, take it easy at that stuff. It's fragile. Treat it like it was nitro. I'm real sorry for the interruptions, but these guys hold world records in busting things. Where were we?
We were talking about your ex-partner and what happened that night at the Code 3 bar.
Yeah, right. Well, me and Wade were really teed off at that judge. Felt sorry for ourselves. So we went to the Code 3 and tied one on.
Yeah, listen, now, this lady in white, do you remember seeing her?
After my first dozen Harvey Wallbangers, I could have been seeing UFOs and not known it. Besides, me and Kitty left the bar before Wade did.
Kitty? That big Kitty Burkett, the cocktail waitress that got you booted off the force with her testimony on perjury.
Yeah, but Kitty didn't mean any harm. Listen, my partner needed an alibi. What the hell was I supposed to do? So I testified that me and Wade were out on an all-night binge.
Kitty testified that you spent the night with her.
Had to. That DA had her between a rock and a hard place. He scared her into telling the truth. Look, I'm sorry, but if you folks will excuse me, I got a date to help a certain campfire girl with her merit badge.
Your daughter?
No, ma'am. Wade Kimball's daughter, Sunny. Being without her daddy's been kind of rough, so I fill in whenever I can. If I can be of any further help, just give me a call, okay?
Thank you. Come on, CJ, I am going to buy you a Harvey Waldbanger.
Thank you, my man. Spent 6 years on the force, bomb squad. Unlike this job, you only get to make one mistake there. What do you want to know about Wade Kimball?
Well, you were here the night he supposedly killed Hadley.
I sure was. He was saturated. I had to quit serving him. Dr. Rocks, poor guy just sat there on a bar stool, damning the legal system and saying all drug dealers ought to be taken out and shot. He got no argument in here.
Mr. Enfield, this is an important question.
Save your breath. I said it to the cops, and I'll say it to you. There was no woman in white here that night, at least that I saw.
Well, it's been a couple of years. Maybe you take a look. Maybe you've seen her since.
I wish I had. I went through the academy with Wade. He was a good cop.
Yeah, well, we're also trying to get a line on a waitress who used to work in here, Kitty Burkett.
That's easy. She still does. Kitty.
Yeah.
Come over here, love. These folks are trying to help Wade Kimball. Why don't you take 5, sit in the booth over there, and tell him what you can.
Thank you very much.
Don't mention it. It's a shame what happened to Wade. I hope you can help him.
Thank you.
You know, talking to me is a big waste. God knows I'd like to help Wade, especially after all the trouble I caused him and Terry.
Trouble meaning you failed to corroborate his alibi.
Corroborate? I blew their alibi clean out of the water. My testimony got Wade sent to prison and Spence kicked off the force.
Meaning that you really did spend that night with Spence?
Yeah, I sure did. That was one hell of a night, too. What little I can remember. That's not much.
Kitty, does this police rendering mean anything to you?
Yeah, it's the woman in white. I remembered from the trial. I've never seen her here. I really never thought there was such a person.
I guess it would be pretty hard to remember everybody that came in and out of this place.
Well, but I kind of do. I mean, this is a cop bar, you know? The girls that come in here are cop groupies. Guess you could say I'm one myself. Anyway, the people that come through here are regulars. And I've never seen her. I'm sorry. Wish I could say different.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Bye. Well, we're not doing too well with this picture, not unlike the police 2 years ago.
Maybe not, CJ. I mean, think about it. Now, it's like Kitty said, this is a cop bar. Everybody knows everybody else in here. Now, Wade Kimball still contends that he was framed. He was picked up by a woman in white, but doesn't remember a whole lot about the rest of the evening.
That's because the booze was flowing.
Yeah, well, let's just say for a second I'm Wade Kimball. Now, I come in here, I'm frustrated, I'm lonely, I'm drinking myself blind. I get picked up by the woman in white. Well, let's say that the woman in white was part of the frame. Now, you be the woman in white and pick me up.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't just...
Exactly, CJ. You wouldn't come into a place like this and pick me up where you could be easily identified. Follow me. But if Wade Kimball was picked up out here on the way to his car...
No one would have seen him leave with the woman in white.
That's right. Now, if you're going to set up Wade Kimball, pick him up out here, take him to a motel, that would take a very special kind of lady.
A professional.
A hooker, CJ. CJ, the more I think about it, the more I realize that Kimball's theory works. Hadley was an albatross to the mob, especially to his boss, Jerome Valentine. That's why he had to die.
Well, here's what we know about Valentine. He was one of the kingpins of the syndicate. His specialties happen to be bribery, extortion, and drug running.
And murder.
And he's no stranger to the legal system. In the last few years, he's been arrested 23 times.
Ah, but never convicted. I'm an honest businessman, Mr. Houston. I simply have a small public relations problem.
You're also small on manners. Now, what are you doing here, Valentine?
Hoping to hire you. To determine once and for all whether Wade Kimball did or did not kill my very good friend, Tyrone Hadley.
Well, he can't hire me. See, I've already got a client. Her name is Sonny Kimball. She's about 6 years old.
Well, then you have two clients. And this client is offering you a blank check. Oh, no, I'll write it off as public relations. Settling this murder thing will eliminate any untrue rumors said about me.
Let me tell you something, Valentine. No amount of money is going to clean you up because you're scum. Now, why don't you take your two goons and get out of here?
I haven't finished yet.
Yes, you are. CJ, why don't you call Lieutenant Hoyt?
Oh, I had hoped we could do this in a civilized manner. You be nice.
Houston.
Now, do you see why I have a public relations problem? Everybody always chooses to think the worst of me. Well, I did my best to short-circuit Houston, but I'm afraid it simply didn't work.
There is another way. I hold 2 shooting records at the police academy.
Oh, you do covet the late Tyrone Hadley's job, don't you? Now, before you spill the gentleman's blood, I want to make one last attempt at discouraging him.
And if that doesn't work?
But then Houston's all yours.
Really appreciate you coming by like this.
Well, I figure Sonny being our client and all, he probably deserves a progress report.
Even if it's an unprogress report.
Oh, boy, the ice cream man. Mommy, please.
Yeah, see, I figure every little girl deserves ice cream for breakfast at least once in her life, you know? My treatment.
Looks like Houston has found a friend.
He's good with kids. She sure sparks to having a man around, now that her daddy isn't.
Nan, I'm sorry we didn't have more to tell you about Wade, one way or the other.
There you go.
Mr. Houston, how long before my daddy gets home?
Well, hopefully real soon, Pumpkin.
Daddy always read me the Sunday funnies, but Mom wrote the law on Sundays.
Well, your mama's got an awful lot to do these days, and I hope you're being good and helping her out.
One of the kids at school said my dad was never coming home again.
Now, don't you listen to that.
I punched his lights out.
Well, you just lead with the left, and you'll be fine. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. It's pretty rough stuff.
Yeah.
This morning on the phone, you said you had a job for me.
Yeah, I want you to call in one of your favors to the DA's office, take a look at one of his files for me.
What file is that?
One that Kimball and Spence put together on the Hadley case a couple years ago.
Any idea what I should be looking for?
Chocolate.
Chocolate?
Yeah, well, chocolate ice cream, CJ. I think you'll know what you're looking for when you find it. Hello. Well, thank you, Bojo. Listen, I'll be there in about a half hour, all right? CJ, I'm going to drop you off, and then I'm going to start back at square one.
Which is?
Which is finding the lady in white. Now, I've planted seeds all over town. Now they're beginning to pay off.
Well, Charity is not the chick in your sketch, Houston, but you did know her. You talked to the man, Charity.
Her name's Flo Nightingale. At least that's what she called herself.
So when was the last time you saw her?
2 years, give or take.
Well, do you any idea what happened to her? Listen, where can I find her?
If I knew what happened to her...
Let us finish that sentence, Charity. If you did know where to find her...
I'd bust her head like a ripe cantaloupe. She ripped me off. I lent her my Alice in Wonderland outfit with all the fancy white lace and everything. Said, I'll get it back to you, all cleaned and pressed. Nothing.
Well, what do you mean, nothing?
She split, disappeared.
Well, Charity, she must have had a reason for wanting that dress. I mean, it was a special occasion or something.
It was special, all right. But I don't know what. You could ask him, but he ain't around anymore either.
Charity, baby, you have got to be more specific. Now, you tell this man just exactly who ain't around anymore.
The dude Flo was doing the favor for. Vice Squad. The one that kept getting on her case all the time.
This guy have a name?
Everybody's got a name, honey. The problem is I only remember certain faces.
Right, like Andrew Jackson, the fella I've been so generous with here today, right? One final question, Charity. Now, how come you never mentioned the woman in white before?
Simple. Nobody ever asked me.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you very much, Charity. Mojo, bless you. If you do think of the man's name, you'll get in touch, I'm sure. Thank you.
You are telling me there actually was a woman in white and she was a hooker?
You got it.
Now, what kind of hooker in the right mind would hang out at a police bar?
Well, one who knew she'd be safe hanging around in a police bar.
So the deal was you scratch my back and I won't hassle you, right?
Right.
Whose back was she scratching?
Well, I don't know. If we can match her name up with her sketch, maybe we'll find out.
Nightingale, Nightingale, Flo Nightingale. Nightingale. Well, she's not in the active file. Let's try the inactive file.
Like in dead?
Right.
Well, would you look at that? A mysterious woman in white. Take a look at a rap sheet.
What am I looking for?
Well, the arresting officer's name. Somebody who hassled her a bunch. Probably lead the parade by a country mile.
You know, Houston, maybe you got something?
What do you mean?
Flo Nightingale's rap sheet. It's missing. Hoyt. Got it. Wade Kimball. He wants to see you in the jail right away. Urgent.
Thank you. What do you mean I'm fired?
Because I said so. What's the matter? A guy can't change his mind?
No, Kimball. I mean, the stakes are too high here. I'm too close to unraveling this mess.
Houston, you're not hearing me. Now, I'm guilty. I killed Hadley.
Oh, I don't believe this. Who got to you, Kimball?
Nobody.
Come on, you're lying.
Nobody.
Who got to you? I mean, how did the mob get to you?
Houston,
did they slip you
please.
a note? Is that it? You want me to have Hoyt tear this place apart?
Okay, damn it! You want to know? Here. Here, that's how they got to me.
Now, that's Sonny in her own bedroom. Do you understand now?
Where did you get this and when?
This morning. That was in my cell when I got back from exercise yard. Now, you see the tear. You know what that means in mob language. Now, either you get off the case or Sonny's gonna die.
Guard. I need to borrow this picture.
Wait a minute, Houston. Wait a minute. That's my little girl.
Now, you listen to me, Kimball. Now, if you lie down because of this, your little girl is gonna die inside because she's always gonna think her daddy was guilty. Now, I can protect her from the mob, but I can't protect her from you.
Well, now you know just as much as I do, Hoyt. Now, first thing we have to do is get some round-the-clock protection for Kimball's wife and daughter.
What are you going to do?
Now, one thing I'm not going to do is give up this case.
Yeah, your fatherly love plan didn't work. No problem. Consider Houston dead.
Well, you were half right about the DA files.
Which half?
The half that says that the Regency Interstate Trucking Company, the company that employs Terry Spence, is co-owned by...
Jerome Valentine.
You got it. It's a perfect way to transport drugs. Okay, it's your turn.
My turn to what?
You left me a message saying that you had red-hot information.
Well, what information?
The message telling me to meet you here at the housing development.
CJ, I didn't leave a message for you. I got a message from you. CJ, get out. I gotta borrow your bike. That lady over there will explain everything. Oh, boy, here it comes now.
There you go, sweetie. Please don't spill that.
It was real nice to see you again, Mr. Houston.
It was real nice to see you again, too. Now, you just keep thinking positive about your daddy, and he'll be here before you know it, all right?
Anything new?
Well, not really, but I did want to ask you a question. Have you had any visitors last night or the night before?
No.
Are you sure?
Terry Spence came over last night, but he's more like family.
You see an awful lot of Terry Spence, don't you?
Once or twice a week. It's the best friend we've got. Generous, too.
In what way?
Money. I don't see how we would have kept afloat, kept up the house payments if it wasn't for him. He calls it a gift. I call it a loan. Although he did borrow some money from Wade back, well, before everything fell apart.
Isn't that a bit odd? I mean, a bachelor borrowing money from a family man?
Every cop has ways of dealing with the stress. Terry gambled in those days. Quite a lot. He says he's since sworn off.
Is that a fact? You said he was by here last night. Now, what time was that?
Well, Sonny was asleep, so it was sort of late. Just popped in for some coffee. Around 10.
By any chance, did he look in on Sonny by the time you were making coffee?
Yes.
Thank you. I gotta run. CJ, CJ, Terry Spence is our man. Now, he took this Polaroid of Sonny last night and then figured out a way to slip it into Kimball's cell, which also means that he killed Tyrone Hadley and framed his partner for the murder.
Houston, Spence has an alibi, Kitty Burkett. It was one hell of a night, remember?
Yeah, but she said what she could remember of that night. Now, she couldn't remember much of it because Spence slipped her a Mickey, knocked her out for a couple of hours.
So Spence slipped out and killed Hadley?
Yeah, with the help of a hooker named Flo Nightingale, who turns out to be our mysterious woman in white. Now, she picks up Kimball in the parking lot of the bar, takes him to a sleazy motel, then she slips him a Mickey.
Then she gave Spence Kimball's gun.
That's right. And while Kimball and Kitty were drugged out, Spence killed Hadley with his partner's gun and then got back into the sack with Kitty before she woke up.
Okay, well, it's coming together, Houston, except for a couple of things. Whatever happened to the woman in white?
Well, I'm afraid Spence probably got rid of her, killed her.
Well, why did Spence kill Hadley?
That's what I'm going to go talk to him about. Now, you call Lieutenant Hoyt, tell him to meet me at the trucking company, and you stay put, all right?
Yes, get in Lieutenant Hoyt, please.
Hi there, Mr. Houston. Back to ask some more questions?
Well, just one, Mr. Spence. Why did you kill Tyrone Hadley and frame Wade Kimball?
Some kind of a joke, right?
Wrong. I'm dead serious. I even got my own theory on why you did it. Would you care to hear?
Sure, why not? I always did like fiction.
All right, here goes. You are a compulsive gambler. You got yourself into hock to Jerome Valentine. You got yourself out of hock by killing Hadley and framing Kimball.
Interesting theory. Problem is, theories are just that, without proof.
Oh, I've got proof. Lots of proof. You see, I forgot to mention the fact that the man that killed Hadley also tried to kill me. Then he got away on his motorcycle, but before he did, he took a bullet hit in the left shoulder.
Leaving the right shoulder perfectly free.
Police, Spence, drop your weapon! Everybody down!
at the police station.
Well, just take a look at his face. He got reinstated on the police force.
Okay, good work, Houston.
Daddy, I have a surprise for you.
Oh, you do, huh? Okay.
I did it all by myself.
Oh, I love you too, sweetheart.
Didn't I see you do a drawing for Mr. Houston?
Well, would you look at that? That is wonderful. You know, I bet that is the best grizzly bear I've ever seen in my life. Wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a rabbit.
Yeah, of course it is. And a dandy rabbit, too, you know. It's a, yeah, we were just pulling your leg. Listen, I've got something for you, too, sweetheart.
This is what I owe you?
Mm-hmm. And this? Right here is where you're supposed to plant it. Right here, right there. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, thank you. How about another one? Just a little one. CJ, has Hoyt arrived yet?
Nope. Houston, Macklin just arrived.
That means he's about to make his pickup, CJ. Let's get on that car phone and see what happened to Hoyt. Money, CJ.
No Hoyt.
I'll have to take him myself.
Macklin, now give it up, it's all over.
boy?
CJ, no, I'm not.
That's very sure that you banged your ribs up pretty good. Now, there'll be some pain for a while, but if you give it some rest, you'll be as good as new in a couple of weeks, and everything will be fine.
Thank you.
Now, there are some forms you'll have to fill out. Nurse Brown, would you assist Mr. Houston?
Of course. Hi.
Hi. Hit my ribs, Thank you.
I've never had dinner with a patient before. I don't like to mix business and pleasure.
Well, you remember I was discharged from the hospital. I think your streak is intact.
You know, my father was a policeman. Maybe that's why I like you.
Well, I'm not really a cop. I'm a private detective.
It's close enough. You know, it really has been a most enjoyable evening.
Yes, it has.
It doesn't have to end.
Houston.
Houston, oi. Just got off duty. Stopped by your office hoping to catch you.
Well, what's the matter? Trouble?
Something we should talk about.
Why don't you stop by the beach house?
No. I've got to stop by the laundromat at 5th and Collins Street. Meet me there.
Chow time.
Well, I'll be there, all right? You know, this looks really good, Aaron, but, you know, I'm not going to have time to eat this. Something's come up, and I got to run.
Oh, but I had a big day planned for us. I thought I would call in sick, and then maybe we could go sailing and have lunch on Catalina.
I know, it is police business. I really do have to go. Come on, we better get dressed.
Maybe we could have lunch later.
Well, I can't. I'm meeting with a client.
Oh, what about dinner?
I don't know, Aaron. I don't know what my time frame is.
Sorry, I'm being a little clingy, aren't I?
Well, just a little bit. It is flattering.
Morning, Mr. Houston.
Hello, Josh. How you doing?
Fine, sir. How are you?
Well, good. Thank you.
No, it's my pleasure, Mr. Houston. Always like to hold the door for a pretty lady.
Thank you. You're very sweet.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Good morning, Houston. Have you seen your messages yet? Bet you haven't. 2 are business and 4 are from, and I quote, Erin, the one who really loves you, unquote. She wants you to call her at the hospital.
She really said this over the phone?
Oh, yeah. I had to explain the 3rd message to Chris.
That's true, but I'd explain the last one to CJ.
I've got a delivery here for Matt Houston. It's from the one who really loves you. You're very welcome.
CJ, what did I do to deserve all this?
Well, that was mentioned in her 3rd message. Something about your technique. Oh, come on. You love being smothered with all this attention.
CJ, it's not being smothered. It's being buried. I mean, well, you know what I mean. Did you ever wake up next to someone in the morning and realize they were a totally different person than they were the night before?
No.
Line 3, Houston, it's you-know-who, and she sounds upset.
Thank you. Hello.
Oh, Houston. Oh, thank God I found you.
Aaron, what's the matter?
Oh, it's my apartment. It's all torn up, and this man, I saw him following me.
Just settle down now. Relax. What I want you to do is lock yourself in. Don't open the door to anybody but me. I'll be there as soon as I can.
What's happening?
CJ, Macklin's muscle must have followed me to Erin's place when I dropped her off this morning.
Who?
Well, I'll tell you about it later. This is her address. Call Hoyt. Tell him to meet me there.
Yeah, get Lieutenant Hoyt, please.
Erin!
Oh, Houston, you don't know how glad I am to see you. It was like this when I got home from lunch. And that man I told you about, he's been out there since I came home.
Must be one of Macklin's goons. Well, you just stay put and keep your doors locked, all right? Hey! Hey!
You all right?
You just keep sending them, Macklin. I'll be ready.
Drop it!
Make another move and you're a dead man. Now drop it.
Miss Brown, we'll be in touch.
Mr. Houston, I'm sorry about the mix-up. I mean, we saw you with that gun and...
Well, don't worry about it. I'm just glad you didn't pull the trigger. Let me talk to you for a minute.
Sure.
You think Macklin's men had anything to do with it?
I wouldn't rule it out. Why go after her? Anyway, you make sure that she changes the locks on the door. And if Brent guys come up with anything, I'll be in touch with you.
Thank you.
You take care, okay?
Thank you. I can't believe this is happening.
Don't worry, Aaron. They'll find out who did this.
No, I want you to find out. I want to hire you.
Well, this is police business, Aaron.
No, I don't want the police. Their uniforms, they upset me.
Well, I thought you said your daddy was a policeman.
Yes, he was. He was killed in the line of duty in New York several years ago.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I'll look into it. I'll see what I can do, all right?
One other thing, Houston. Macklin, the guy you shot at the Greek Theater, turned state's evidence.
All right, thanks, Hoyt.
Problems?
Yeah. Hoyt just blew my Macklin revenge theory all to hell. He turned state's evidence.
Meaning there were never any hitmen.
Yeah, he must have been just waving them in my face to scare me. Another interesting point, though. Turns out that nothing was missing out of Aaron's apartment. Yeah, no signs of forced entry.
Somebody had a key.
Yeah. Yeah, Hoyt figures probably an old boyfriend.
Looking for something?
Well, my beach house key.
Houston, you are always losing that key. It's the third time this month.
Second time.
Here it is.
We found it.
It's your backup. I think you've lost your spare.
Yeah.
Okay, what now?
Well, I'm gonna go to the hospital and see if I can come up with some answers.
Okay.
Well, I've always found Nurse Brown to be competent, not outstanding, but she does know hospital procedure.
Yeah, well, can you think of any reason why someone might have a grudge against her?
Grudge? No, not really. Of course, she's only been with us a short time, so I really haven't had much of a chance to get to know her.
Any idea where she worked before she came here?
Well, I should be able to tell you, but the darndest thing, her file seems to be missing. Look, the central computer will tell us. E-R-I-N-B-R-O-W. That's very strange. Her file seems to be missing everywhere. Look, I'll talk to personnel and see if I can track it down for you.
Thank you.
Dr. Smith, call your office. Dr. Smith, call your office.
Houston! What a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, listen, Aaron, you mind if I talk to you alone for a minute?
You could talk to me alone for as long as you like.
Listen, Aaron, I'm having some difficulty locating the records.
Records? What records? Where?
That's what I mean. I can't find anything. I mean, your file has disappeared.
What do you mean by checking up on me like I'm some sort of common criminal or something? I thought you were supposed to be helping me.
I am helping you. I mean, I need to know these things so I can find out who's trying to bother you.
That doesn't give you any right to dig into people's past and dish up lies and things that were better left off buried.
Just wait a minute now. What do you mean, past and lies?
Nothing. Nothing. I just... Oh, Houston, how do we ever get into this? I don't want to hire you. I just want to make love to you. Can't we just forget this whole thing and go back to the way it was?
Aaron, this is what I'm talking about. I need to know that.
I'm sorry. Please, please, let's just forget this. Let's go back to my
Wait here a minute, would you? Hey, Come on, get up. Get up. I'm tired of playing games with you.
Please, don't hurt me. Look, I never thought it'd end up like this.
That's what they all say.
No. Hey, you don't understand. We're brother, Gregory Brown. It was just a little game. I was doing her a favor.
Go on.
She wanted me to pretend I was after her so you'd protect her. So you'd stay close to her. She's crazy about you, man.
We'll see about that. Come on.
Dr. Redfell reports Dr. Marr in administration.
Is this your brother?
Bartlett, call physical therapy on
Oh, great. Go on, get up. Go on.
I know what you're thinking. I only did it because I was afraid of losing you.
Do you realize he knocked the kid off his bicycle and broke his arm? Worse than that, 2 cops with very shaky hands arrested me. They could have blown my head off.
Don't be mad. We love each other.
We love each other. Wait, Aaron, that's not what we have.
Please, don't say that. Can't we talk about this later?
No, we can't talk about this later. See, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't want to see you. I don't want you to call me. I don't want to see you again. Do you understand that?
takes a man's hand and the caring. Yes, missy. I promise you, my keys will work, you betcha. Original here, and the duplicate to your apartments.
Thank you. Actually, it's to my boyfriend's beach house.
Oh.
Sure appreciate it. Bye.
Thank you.
Mr. Houston?
Houston, I'll get back to you. How's the old guy doing?
Well, doesn't look good.
Oh, stuff like that. 20 years and I still can't get used to it.
Have you got any leads?
I thought you already knew. He made a statement before he went into surgery. I'm afraid we got to pick up your girlfriend.
What do you mean, girlfriend?
Erin Brown, your nurse friend.
Oh, wait a minute, Hoyt.
Hoyt, that's not possible.
Yeah, I mean, whoever did this to Josh, that's the work of a psycho.
He made a positive ID. I'm sorry.
Listen, we've got to find her.
Already posted APB.
She's got to be a very sick woman. C.J., look, I want you to check all the mental institutions, see if they've ever treated her. In the meantime, I want to talk to your friend, Dr.
Osgood, departmental shrink?
Yeah, that's the one. Look, how soon can I see him?
Roundabout lines. Take that long to round him up. Okay, see you later.
Well, from what you told me, Mr. Houston, your lady friend is suffering from an obsessional mania.
Doc, you want to run that by me again, in English?
Well, she's built up an imaginary relationship with Mr. Houston. One that she uses to escape her loneliness.
Well, I don't know, Doc. I mean, the way she attacked Josh. I mean, when I first met her, she seemed so...
Normal.
Yeah, normal.
Well, it's not as extraordinary as you might think. She's a classic schizophrenic with homicidal tendencies. You know, I'd love to observe her if you ever get to pick her up. Might make an interesting chapter for a book I'm working on.
We hope to oblige.
Anyway, thank you for lunch. Hey, Lieutenant.
Houston, thank you. Well, listen, have you had any luck picking her up? Any leads at all?
I don't think she's coming back. Most of her clothes are gone.
Well, what about the brother?
Nothing so far.
Oh, that's great. We can't find him. We got no records on her. I mean, who the hell is this Erin Brown?
Houston, for you.
Thank you, Heidi. Yeah. Right, C.J. Liz, we'll be right there. I think you better come with me.
C.J. got something on Erin Brown?
More or less, yeah.
She isn't Erin Brown. But this is. Or rather was. She's been dead for about a year.
What?
The real Erin Brown was a nurse working at a mental institution in upstate New York. She was found murdered, repeatedly stabbed by an escaping patient.
I would hate myself for asking this question, but do we have a picture of the escaped patient?
Meredith Brown. That's her name. Same last name, but no relation. Very interesting girl, Houston. The doctor at the institution told me that when she was making her escape, she threw a 6-foot orderly through a plate glass window, and she gouged out the eyes of another one.
Do we have any information on her brother?
Yes, but he's not her brother.
That makes sense. Why should he be any different?
His real name is Greg Johnson. He's an orderly at the hospital where Erin works. The brother-sister act is to justify their spending a lot of time together. The hospital administrator thinks they've been stealing drugs and having a high old time.
Houston. Telephone.
Thank you. Yeah.
Houston? Oh, it's so good to hear your voice.
Erin? Erin, where are you?
Oh, Houston, I'm so sorry. I guess I got carried away. You know I could never hurt you.
Yeah, of course, Erin. I know that. Listen, if you just tell me where...
And that guard, the poor man. I feel so bad. It was really just a little misunderstanding.
I believe you, Erin. Yeah, I do. Listen, why don't we just get together and we'll work the whole thing out.
And you're not mad at me?
I'm not mad at you, Erin. How can I be mad at you, huh? Come on. Now, when can we meet?
The zoo. The African Plaza.
I'll be there.
Houston, I love you.
I love you too, Erin.
I'll round up my men.
Gotta go alone, Hoyt.
Houston, this is police business. She's wanted for murder.
She's a very sick lady, Hoyt. She hates uniforms. If she sees one, she's gonna run.
I'll use plainclothesmen.
And we better keep them out of sight, because if we lose her this time, we may not get a second chance.
Ladies late, boys and girls. Don't any of you fall asleep out there. Keep your eyes open. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. She kept her date after all. She's just passing the orangutans.
All right, everybody, just stay nice and calm, all right?
Now, let's get all the way to Houston. She stopped. What happened? Houston, what's going on?
Something's wrong. She's just staring at the kid with the radio.
Nobody panic. Come on, Erin, baby. Just keep on walking.
Why? What happened?
You blew it, CJ. Some kid picked up our stakeout chatter on his radio. She heard it, she spooked, and she ran. We couldn't get close to her.
Oh, great.
Hey, listen, did you come up with anything?
Yes, I found Erin's institution records. She didn't lie to you about everything, Houston. Her father was a policeman, but he didn't die in the line of duty. He died in a prison.
Why was he in prison?
Molesting children. His own.
Look, why don't you just go on home and get a good night's sleep, all right?
What are you gonna do?
I'll stick around here. Maybe she'll try and contact me again.
Hello. Hello, Miss Parsons. I talked to you on the phone the other day. I hope I didn't wake you.
No, you didn't.
Normally, I'm not the type to, call the, other woman, but, I thought in our case I'd make an exception.
I'm not sure that I follow you.
I'm talking about you and Houston. My Houston. I should have realized earlier why our relationship was in trouble. But then I would be the last to know, wouldn't I?
Erin, listen to me. There is nothing between Houston and myself but...
That's, what Nurse Brown said at the institution. She tried to come between my doctor and me. But I showed her. Just like I'll show you.
Erin, where are you?
Maybe I'm outside your window. Watching you. I begged him not to leave. What we had was beautiful. But then you came between us.
Erin.
Did you dare interrupt me? You'll pay for this. You both will. If I can't have him, no one will.
Erin. Erin. Erin.
Get out of here. Yeah.
Houston, are you all right?
Yeah, I guess so, CJ.
Listen, I have just had the most terrifying phone call from Erin. She threatened to kill me, and she said that if she couldn't have you, nobody could.
Yeah, I got the same message.
If you want information on Erin, meet me at 3841 Highfield Street alone. Gregory Brown.
You gonna tell Hoyt?
Well, not just yet. I don't want to take a chance of cops scaring him off, too. Head back to the office, and I'll get back to you.
Easy. Easy, boy. It's all right. It's all right. It's a good boy. Go on, go on. Come on. White, it's Houston. You call off the search party for Greg Brown. He's dead. Yeah, I found him at 3841 Highfield. Listen, I'll wait for you here, huh?
Houston!
Morning.
Darling, he wanted me to go back to the institution. But then I couldn't have you. Now can you see how much I love you? I'll never let anyone come between us. Not him, not her either. All my love, Aaron.
Not her either. CJ.
She's here, Houston. We're both here. We're waiting for you.
Just listen to me for a minute, Aaron, please.
No. You listen to me. If you want to see her again, I suggest you come alone. You know how I feel about uniforms.
Aaron, just let me talk to you, all right? Aaron. Aaron.
It didn't have to end like this. We could have been friends. If you'd just have recognized how deep our love was. I tried to talk to you, remember? You're going to kill me, aren't you? It's nothing personal. I want you to know that. It's just... he has to see how much I love him. And how I do anything for him. once you said you loved me.
There's really nothing more anyone can do. She slipped into this catatonia shortly after she was brought in. It's not that uncommon of an occurrence, especially after the kinds of emotional trauma she's gone through.
You think she'll ever get over this?
Not likely. I think she'll probably spend the rest of her life the way you see her now. Such a waste.
Yes, it is. That's real nice, Miss Bailey, but I tell you what, see, you're not really following through with your backhand.
Which is precisely why I hired the best instructor on staff here, Mr. Garrett. Houston, we've been here for 2 weeks. Now, I love my vastly improved overhead smash, but I sure hope we wrap this up soon.
Well, CJ, you don't just set a trap and expect to catch a world-famous jewel thief overnight.
Well, I hope my medical insurance covers tennis elbow.
Me too.
Well, thank you. We're very proud of it. Southern California Club #1, home base for our expanding hotel operations and the magazine.
Club #2 is under construction as we speak on Maui, and with any luck, it'll be ready for next year's contest.
Maui? I don't know about you girls, but I'm definitely entering next year's contest, too. So am I.
Get a hold of hotel security and tell them our man has taken the bait.
This is all so very exciting, and you beautiful women so perfectly typify what we here at Southern California Club are working so hard to do.
Hold it, Armand. I said hold it, Armand.
Sorry, stay down.
Chief Powers, meet Henry Almond, world-famous jewel thief.
Presenting the Chapman collection. By the way, Lieutenant Hood and City Police are on their way here now.
Good. Take him to the office and hold him until the police get here. Nice job, Houston. But I still say Nikki is wasting her money having you here. I could have caught Amant if I'd had the chance.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Tell me something. How did you know Amant would strike today?
Oh, it's very simple. CJ's going on vacation.
What?
A vacation to Acapulco.
If Amon had stolen those jewels, it would have blown my airline reservation.
That's very disappointing.
Very.
Yeah, that's why we had to figure out a way to speed him up.
You see, Mrs. Chapman was scheduled to stay in town with her jewelry collection for one more month. Now, Henry Almont knew that, so he was biding his time. But last night at a dinner party, Mrs. Chapman decided to return to New York with her gem collection tonight.
It's exactly what I told her to say, and that would force Amon to make his move today.
Game, set, and match, Mr. Houston.
Adios, senorita.
Ah, gracias, senor. See you in 2 weeks.
Excuse me, miss. Listen, I just wanted to apologize for that collision earlier today. I hope you're all right.
Oh, I'm fine. A little shaky. People firing guns does that to me.
Yeah.
I'm Sandy. Sandy Marlowe.
Sandy, it's a pleasure. Matt Houston.
Well, you make a wild first impression, Mr. Houston.
Well, it might have something to do with the fact that I'm really not a tennis pro at all. See, I happen to be a private detective.
You wouldn't kid me, would you?
I know. I mean, not at all. I really am a private. So are you sure you're all right?
Maybe this is crazy, but... Mr. Houston, would you be available to have dinner with me tonight? I guarantee it would be strictly business. I mean, I'll pay the bill.
Strictly business, huh?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. Well, you know, I tell you, I just came off of a long case, and I got quite a bit.
I should have known better than to ask.
Now, hold on, Sandy. Listen, well, you didn't quite let me finish back there. You see, I might not be ready to jump into a business meeting, but I would very much love to buy you dinner. And if during the course of that dinner the conversation changes to what's bothering you.
Thanks. 8 o'clock?
I'd be fine. Thank you. Now, you were talking about the girl in New York.
Janice. She's the one that first started talking about this maniac thing.
Now, Janice, was she also a centerfold?
Was. That's just it. Janice was Miss January, but she dropped out of the contest.
Go on.
Well, we just finished a 10-city promo tour plugging the contest when this maniac thing supposedly happened in New York, in the hotel we were staying at.
Sandy, you've used words like supposedly and claim. Now, does that mean you really didn't believe Janice?
Yes and no. Janice has a far-out imagination, and sometimes she'd take things like acid and PCP.
I don't know. I don't know if somebody really attacked her or not.
Now, you believe her enough to be scared, don't you?
Well, wouldn't you be? I mean, I'm not the only one. I've talked to some of the other girls, and they're willing to come in with me. You know, to come up with enough money to hire you.
To find the so-called maniac, and if there is one, catch him.
Yeah, I guess. And for my money, you can start with that creep over there. He's turned up in almost every city on this tour.
Does this creep have a name?
Dumbreel, I think. He claims to be a reporter.
Excuse me. Mr. Dumbrell? No, wait, no. Mr. Dumbrell.
You see what I mean? It's weird. It seems like no matter what city we're in, I can look up and I'll see his face in the crowd.
Sandy, has there been anybody else like him that's followed the tour from city to city?
Not that I know of. Not that isn't connected with the contest. What will you do first, if you'll take the case?
Well, first I have to determine if there really is a case. And the only one who can help me do that is the girl who saw the supposed maniac.
Janice.
Right. Now, I will get in touch with the contest officials. Maybe they can help me get a line on her.
You know, I feel better already.
CJ, thanks for coming back. I'm sorry about your Acapulco vacation. Could you hang on for a second?
Well, when I heard my name being paged to LAX, I had a feeling Montezuma would have to wait to take his revenge. Now, what's this I hear about a missing centerfold?
Well, maybe nothing, CJ. It just seems like she disappeared from New York, and I'm having a hard time tracking her down. She shouldn't be that hard to find.
What can I do for you?
I'd like you to go back to the office and do some homework. Okay? Put together a list for me of everybody that was connected to the New York contest prior to their arrival here yesterday. They all stayed at the same hotel in Barrington.
You got it. Where will you be?
I'm going to be here. I'll have a little chat with the management, see if we can come up with a similar list. Thank you.
Thank you. To my husband, may his new Broadway show rise to the heights and remain there forever.
Dina, you have to start with the booze so early.
It's much less harmful than that stuff you put up your nose. Besides, who's paying all the bills? Did Variety print your story?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they printed it. They buried it on page 19.
Orson, it has been quite a while since your big hit play. Perhaps they thought it was just another of your publicity stunts.
Why? Because I cast a centerfold in the lead?
Question is, can your star of tomorrow even win this centerfold contest?
She has to. Oh, I mean, Gilda's a natural. She has something very special. She could be another Hepburn, Bergman. She's got it all.
Hi, here's Sandy Marlowe. I'm Lenny Dumbrell.
Look, I know who you are. Just stay away from me, huh?
You can't talk to a member of the press that way.
Press? You're a weirdo who hangs out at beauty contests.
I'm a freelance photojournalist.
Who's never had one story published. Now leave me alone or I'm gonna call security.
That won't be necessary. I believe the lady asked you to leave.
Thank you.
Man certainly knows how to make an exit, doesn't he? Now listen, I've got quite a few friends on the police force, and they're all trying to find out exactly who he is, so don't worry about it.
Did you find Janice?
Not yet. She left New York 2 days ago, but so far she hasn't showed up at home. But just don't worry about it. We're gonna find her.
I really feel safe when you're around.
Okay, Val, honey, that's it. Sandy, baby, you're up.
I gotta go.
Let's see, you have time for a drink, lady?
Meet me in the bar in an hour. Make that a half hour.
Sandy?
All I can say is this wasn't my fault. If that girl thought she was in trouble, she should have told me. I could have protected her.
Who are you?
Powers, Chief of Security.
Lieutenant Hoyt. I want a list of every guest in this hotel, also every employee.
Well, I don't know. That could take a lot of time. I'm a busy man. I mean, that could take a couple of hours.
No, it won't take a couple of hours. I don't have a couple of hours. That dead girl doesn't have a couple of hours. I want that list fast. 20 minutes tops. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
What a stinking world. Butchery, lipstick, graffiti. What the hell are you doing here, Houston?
I was trying to be on hand when they were stuffing one of my clients in a body bag.
That dead girl was one of your clients?
You see, she hired me to find out if there was a maniac stalking her.
Houston, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, CJ. Trying to sort things out a little bit.
It wasn't your fault.
She trusted me, CJ.
And you did everything you could.
Did I? She was scared, now she's dead.
Houston, her best friend is here, the girl you wanted to talk to. She's waiting for you in the office.
I'll be in a minute.
Sandy never admitted it, but she hated this Centerfold stuff.
Well, then why did she stay in it, especially after Janice told her about a maniac and dropping out?
That's easy. Fame, money. The winner of this contest makes $100,000.
That's what I call a lot of motive.
Yeah. Now, so we've got several possibilities here. One being that the girl who dropped out of the contest was right, that there really is a full-blown loony out there.
Or somebody's taking advantage of the maniac rumors and killing these girls for the prize money.
Yeah. Listen, one of the reasons why I asked you here, we want to ask you a couple of questions. Now, is it safe to say that Sandy was a favorite to win the contest?
Well, everybody sort of thought that the contest was between two girls, Sandy and Gilda Rivera.
Certainly see why she's a top contender.
She's a beautiful girl.
And she's very talented. She's co-starred in a couple of films, and she's just been signed to star in a Broadway play.
Mr. Houston, Eric Jason's on the phone for you.
Thank you, Chris. Houston.
Nikki wants to see you at the conference room in the hotel. She says it's very important. It has something to do with the murder.
I'm on my way. Listen, well, I have to run off right now, but is it possible that maybe you could stick around here? CJ needs to ask you some questions. We want to try and get a line on everybody connected with the contest.
Sure.
Thank you.
You know, Houston, you and I are an awful lot alike. Shakers and movers. Pulled ourselves up by the proverbial bootstraps. Became conglomerates. There's one thing I don't understand, though. Why did you give up your empire to become a detective?
Well, I guess my priorities changed. I suddenly realized making money was not the end all.
I'm beginning to wonder if it isn't time for my priorities to change. This centerfold contest, the international telecast, my fast budding chain of hotels, they all seem so terribly important to me. Before I got this telex, it's addressed to you. Apparently you've been making inquiries, but my hotel manager thought I should see it first. It concerns Janice Fields, the centerfold who claimed that a maniac was out to kill all 12 of the girls and withdrew from the contest. She's dead. She never even made it out of New York. A janitor found her body in the hotel basement. She'd been dead for 2 days.
She was stabbed to death. With a knife, the same way Sandy was. Janice was Miss January. Sandy was Miss February. That means the killer is working chronologically. Now, who is Miss March?
Oh, Miss March, Gilda Rivera.
What room is she in?
Oh, I don't know. I can't think.
Well, you've got to think. We don't have time.
602.
602.
Janice, and now Gilda, all stabbed to death. Janice was right. She said he threatened to kill all 12 of us. Well, the score's 3 down and 9 to go.
Debbie, for God's sakes, will you shut up?
I don't want to shut up. I want out of this contest now and alive. And you'll all go with me unless you want to stay here and die.
I'm with Debbie. This has gone
Ladies,
far.
please, just listen to me for a minute. Now, the worst thing in the world you can all do right now is panic. Now, even more dangerous is this notion of you all packing up, pulling up stakes, and heading home unprotected.
What makes you think so?
The late Janice Fields makes me know so. You see, she dropped out of the contest, and she headed for home, but it didn't take her off the killer's hit list.
Now, you do have a point there.
Yes, but with all due respect to Houston, you may be wrong.
Val, don't you understand? It doesn't make any difference where you and all the other girls are. You're all centerfolds. You all did appear in Nikki's Southern California Club magazine.
So what you're telling us is that the contest itself has nothing to do with the kill and his motives? I mean, that he's going to try to kill us regardless?
There is a very strong possibility.
But what do you recommend, Houston?
I say we all stick here. Just be calm. Use the buddy system. Travel in pairs. Just don't go anywhere by yourselves.
It does make sense.
Now, Lieutenant Hoyt is on the phone right now. He's going to have security men here around the clock.
Oh, great. Great, but there's still no guarantee, right?
Guarantees are a little hard to come by. But we have all got the best police protection. We've all got common sense. Now, if we use it, we're all going to be just fine. Ready when you are, CJ.
Oh, I was ready about 20 minutes ago, and it was still only 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, I punched in the key players who were in New York when Janice was killed. Starting with Nikki Sheffield. She began as an actress, apparently a very good one. Then she became a one-woman conglomerate when she started the Southern California Club.
Not to mention her Southern California Girly magazine.
She also managed to get herself in hock to the IRS for $3 million. Now, I checked that out, and her empire is in jeopardy. But she can get out of hock if she has a blockbuster rating on the centerfold telecast.
You mean pay TV?
Nikki will receive a fixed sum of money for every household that tunes in, and the telecast will be worldwide.
Well, CJ, that's a pretty cold-blooded thought. I mean, to kill 3 centerfolds just to increase your audience, you know, publicity reasons, hype.
Well, here's Eric Jason, the photographer.
It's also Nikki Sheffield's right arm. From what I have seen and heard, if Nikki ever got in trouble, he could probably...
Kill for her.
Right. Who's next?
Orson and Dina Lowe. He's the Broadway producer, and she's the bottled and bond spouse. Now, he's the man who wanted to take Gilda Rivera, the last victim, and make her into a Broadway star.
Well, CJ, it sounds to me, I mean, losing his star and all makes him more of a victim than it does suspect.
Maybe. Last but not least, Lenny Dumbriel. He's the self-proclaimed freelance reporter who's actually a beauty contest groupie.
Sounds like an expensive hobby. How's he do it?
Once a month, his parents send him a 4-figure check to stay out of their lives.
Greater love hath no parent, huh?
He's very, very bright, high IQ, and a social misfit. A good word for him would probably be weirdo.
What else does our friend do besides be a professional girl watcher?
Well, now, don't get mad, Houston, but I saved the best for last. This is the dessert. Came in about a half hour ago. Dumbriel, besides being a weightlifter and indulging in a smattering of satanic worship, is also a Charlie Manson groupie.
CJ, you know this for a fact?
Watch this. Look like someone you know?
Well, it could be Dumbriel.
How can you be so skeptical? Look at this.
It is Dumbriel. CJ, get a hold of Lieutenant Hoyt.
Well, don't go so fast. That was just a teaser. Houston, be careful. He was in a mental institution.
You blew it, Houston. You really blew it. Now we gotta catch that crazy the hard way, if we can find him.
Well, all we have to do is come up with some solid evidence. You have any luck?
Only the murder weapon with Dumbrill's prints all over it. Showed up in New York, in the hotel where Janice Fields cashed in. Dried blood all over the weapon. A perfect match.
Well, maybe I did blow it. All we have to do now is find him before he strikes victim number 4.
All right. Sealed off the resort perimeter. That means our suspect is all boxed in. Harrison, I want you to take your men and begin a sweep of the grounds. Move it out. No civilians, Houston. Get on back to your hotel room.
No, wait, I'm going with you. And there's not a thing you can do to stop me. You see, I'm good, I am trained, and I am partly responsible for that murderer still being out there. More important, I do not want to live the rest of my life with murder number 4 on my conscience. Now, you just sent all your men off. You go out now, you go out alone, no backup. The way I figure it, you need me.
Well, I see we made it in time.
In time for what?
Manhunt. Lieutenant, me and my men are at your disposal.
Powers, I want you and your men to go back where you came from and stay the hell out of this.
But these are the cream of the crop.
It's more like a lynch mob to me.
Well, from what I've seen, you guys need all the help you can get.
Go home, Powers. This is strictly varsity action.
I totally disagree. You know, you might have sold me that bill of goods earlier, Lieutenant, before 3 of my girls were brutally murdered.
Nikki, I strongly recommend that everybody does exactly what Lieutenant Hoyt tells them to.
This guy's got to be caught, Houston.
All right, now hear this. I don't have time to stand here and debate. But if anybody, repeat, anybody in this group in any way interferes with any officer in his course of duty, you're gonna find yourself behind bars.
Powers, get going.
Yes, ma'am. Don't you worry about a thing. Let's go.
You can back me up, Houston.
Well, I don't think we need to get that severe.
Let's go.
Don't move, Jabril! Police! Do what he says, Lenny! Fire!
Cease fire, you idiots!
I believe he's gonna make it.
No thanks to this lynch mob. Get him to the hospital right away. Disarm every one of them, read them their rights, and book them on attempted murder.
Hold it, Lieutenant. Drumbill fired first. We only returned his fire.
Damn it, Powers, he didn't even have a gun.
Somebody fired that shot.
Who cares? We got the killer.
Do we?
I want to talk to you. See you later, Houston.
Are you positive of that? Thank you very much. CJ, I think I just figured out who killed the 3 centerfolds.
Dumbrell. Newspaper's saying you're a hero, Houston.
Papers were wrong, CJ, just as wrong as all the people who said Lenny Dumbrell fired the first shot when he didn't even have a gun.
Well, there's a lot of undergrowth in that area. The police assume they'll find a gun eventually.
Sure they will, as soon as the real killer plants one there.
Houston, what are you thinking?
CJ, it's just too easy, too pat. Lenny Dumbrell is the perfect fall guy. I mean, think about it. He's a loner, devil worshiper, Charles Manson groupie. He followed the centerfolds everywhere they went.
So you think he was set up?
I'm almost positive. I mean, think about it. It would be easy enough to lift Lenny's fingerprints off of an object and place them on that knife. Just as easy, somebody could have placed that roll of undeveloped film, the film of Sandy's body, in his camera bag.
Keep going, Houston. I think you're on a roll.
CJ, the phone call I just took. Now, I've been doing some checking the killer wouldn't have expected us to do. I checked into the backgrounds of the 3 dead centerfolds.
And?
Well, it turns out the last victim, Gilda Rivera, she had a background in half, including a very highly illegal way of making money, and it's called blackmail. It seems that she would lure Hollywood producers into compromising positions, then secretly take lurid photographs, then exchange those photographs for parts in their next movies.
So she developed higher aspirations and decided to become a Broadway star.
That's when she zeroed in on Lowe. She boxed him in. She threatened to ruin his marriage if he didn't star in his next production. But Lowe knew that she'd never make it to Broadway because she'd be far too dead.
So Lowe killed Gilda to preserve his marriage.
And his wife's $20 million.
Then who killed Sandy and Janice?
A man who wanted the world to believe that there was a maniac on the loose.
Phone for you, Mr. Lowe.
Thank you. Yes, Orson Lowe.
Yes, I'm a friend of Gilda's.
Who's this?
I'm the person who's in possession of the negatives featuring you and Gilda Rivera. Very interesting stuff, Mr. Lowe. I'm aware of the fact that those negatives are valuable. But because I have a little cash flow problem, I'll mark them down to $10,000 just for you.
$10,000? I don't carry that kind of cash around with me.
Well, that's why they invented banks, Mr. Lowe. 1 hour, all cash. Meet me at the tramway. By the way, I'm the one who won't be wearing a carnation. Thanks for being punctual.
Just exactly who are you? And how did you get those negatives?
First, the money.
The negatives.
Right there, Lo.
Houston! How'd you know it was me?
Well, I didn't really know for sure until you showed up here. Question. Why'd you kill 3 girls just to silence one blackmailer when you could have killed your wife and inherited $20 million?
That has been my problem all along. I guess Dina knew if she ever put me in her will, it'd be like committing suicide.
You mean to tell me you killed 3 girls just to protect your meal ticket?
Yeah, I guess that was a little selfish, wasn't it?
Sirens are coming here, Lo. Would you throw down your gun, or are we gonna have to play hardball?
All right. I said I was selfish, not crazy. You know, Mr. Houston, what I didn't say was I could never survive in prison.
Houston, come on! My plane leaves in 20 minutes.
Be there in a minute, CJ.
Acapulco, sun, margaritas, bachelors, good stuff.
And nobody deserves a 2-week vacation more than you do, CJ, so let's hit the smoggy blue for LAX.
Okay.
Don't do it, Houston. No, no.
Houston. Yeah. I will. CJ, that's some good news and some bad news.
Don't tell me, Houston.
Well, now, wait. The good news is that you still get your 2 weeks of fun in the sun. The bad news, however, is I'm not real sure when you're going to get it. See, now, we just got a nifty case. There's this business tycoon. Now, he's been arrested for killing...
Anastasia?
What are you doing in here?
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I just wanted a little peace and quiet and the door was open.
It was? It's not supposed to be. We're ready to leave. You are going to the cocktail party, aren't you?
Of course.
We'll go out over the ocean and drop a little shark bait en route.
Wonderful.
CJ, keep them coming.
Hey, you're not... Surprise!
Nice work, CJ.
Save your boss, Houston. I couldn't get the documents. There wasn't any time. We must get them.
And she's right. CJ, take it back down.
Take it down now? Are you crazy?
CJ, cut the engine. Make it look like we've been hit.
Got him! Come on!
What's the combination?
7 left, 14 right, 6 left, 8 right.
They're coming back. All right, hang around, CJ, would you? Fish kick.
Inspector McFadden here.
This is Murdoch.
Yes, sir, Mr. Murdoch.
Unless I'm mistaken, some undercover agents from your department just paid me a visit.
What are you talking about?
Undercover agents. Specifically, a maid has been working for me for 2 months. Another woman who claims to work for a large garment manufacturer in New York, and I've been dating for 3 weeks. And a man who commandeered my helicopter. Now, the bottom line is they broke into my safe and made off with the latest list of illegal aliens we just brought in.
What are you going to do?
Me? Nothing. For starters, I always keep my books in code. It'll take them months to break it. And when they do, well, I've been a lawyer long enough to know those books were taken illegally. They'll never be admissible in court. There's only one chance they've got. That's to find somebody to testify against us. Now, that's where you come in. The last batch of illegals we brought in. Well, you send them back. Fast.
Consider it done, sir.
Houston, I'm gonna fire up Baby and change into something comfortable first.
Later on, getting comfortable, CJ, here.
We've got to break Murdoch's code before he can have his man back to Mexico.
I figure we've got about 2 hours to find those illegals. All we have to do is find the one rotten apple in the barrel.
Yeah, the barrel being the Immigration and Naturalization Services.
We at INS have had no luck finding this rotten apple. That's why we hired you.
But you're sure Murdoch is running illegal aliens between here and Chicago?
Definitely. We just can't prove it. Nor can we determine which INS official's on Murdoch's payroll. I think we've already run out of time.
CJ, did you come up with anything on the records?
No rotten apple names, Houston, but Baby has decoded a list of Mexican names with companies next to them.
The illegals and where they were brought to work in order to pay off their passage from Mexico to Los Angeles.
Now, those are the people we need to get testimonies from about being smuggled in. The same people that Murdoch is going to try and ship out before we can get to them.
Houston, I think I've got something here. It could be the last location. It's a place named Brady's.
I know it. It's in the garment district.
Let's go.
Please stay where you are. Officers will be checking identification and green cards. Por favor, no se muevan. Los diputados quieren ver su identificación y tarjetas verdes. No hay por qué abordarse, solo quédese donde están.
Vincent, I think I'm going to roust him out of Brady's by myself. Buenos dias, ladies. Time to pay the piper. Everybody outside for a little green card inspection. Pronto!
Oh, no! Not again!
It's your lucky day, Brady. Some of these fortunate ladies are going to win an all-expense-paid trip back to Mexico.
Come on, how do you expect me to turn a profit? You keep coming in here cleaning me out.
Think of it as incentive. If you'd hire some people from the good old U.S. of A., we'd probably leave you alone.
You kidding? I'd have to pay union wages that'd bankrupt me in a week.
Hey, Sirrah. Whoa, wait a minute. What do we got here? What's your name, little senorita?
Look, Corey, I got 2 weeks worth of back orders on the machines. Just give me a couple of lousy days, huh?
No can do, Brady.
But what are you doing, Corey?
I think this little senorita's got a concealed weapon. I'm gonna have to search her. What are you staring at, boy? Who are you gonna tell, boy? Your mama? Huh?
Inspector McFadden!
God, what did you do? She's illegal. So's this one. They tried to jump me out here. Can you believe that? Hardly more than kids. There was a third one, but he got away. He had a knife. But I got these two.
Corey. That poor girl.
Oh, boy, you want to keep your job? You gotta learn how to play ball with the man that signs your efficiency reports. Mainly me. Now you get her out of here. That one, too.
Yes, sir.
It's too late.
did I do, huh?
INS.
Oh, wow. Siéntese, por favor. Siéntese. Oh, boy. Bad enough you guys come and clean me out in the middle of my busiest week. Now you gotta go and take him away before I can even hire him and get any work.
Well, just take it easy. Mr. Brady, I just need to ask you some questions. Now, where did you get the employees that were deported today?
Not on your life. Now, I got a rush order due on Friday. I ain't had any lunch, and I got a lot more ladies to interview, okay? So if you'll excuse me. Next! Who's next?
There's nothing more we can do now. Murdoch slipped the noose again.
Houston, you know Mrs. Estrada.
Oh, por favor, Senor Houston, please help me. My son, my Tony, he's disappeared.
Well, just take it easy, Maria. Cálmese.
You know this lady?
Yes, Maria has a fast food truck across the street from the office. They've known each other a long time.
Please, you must help me.
We'll help you, whatever it takes, all right?
Mr. Houston, you're busy. I'll take a taxi.
Thank you. Please, follow me this way. I found this ball, his soccer ball. Oh, I am so afraid.
Well, just calm down and tell us what happened.
My son, my Tony, once a week he goes to the hospital to pick up his medicine. It's not very far from here. He always comes this way, but today...
Just tell us, how long has he been gone?
Oh, over 5 hours. I called the police, but they say they can do nothing for 2 days.
5 hours is a long time.
Well, not for a 15-year-old boy, Houston. He could be out playing ball.
CJ, you don't understand. Tony's a special boy. He's retarded and a diabetic.
The trip to the hospital is the only time that I allow him to go out by himself. It only takes him 20 minutes, even when he takes his ball to play with.
Where did you find his ball? Do you remember?
See, just follow me. I'll show you.
Who's next? Wait, one at a time. All right, you come with me. Come this way.
This is where I found it. He would never willingly go anywhere without the ball.
Maria, do you have a snapshot of your son?
See, yes, of course. Here.
He's a nice-looking boy.
Thank you.
Houston, it might not be a bad idea to show this around the neighborhood, what with the confusion about the immigration roundup and all. You don't think that...
It's possible, CJ. Tony disappeared around noon. And that was the same time that they picked up a whole truckload of Mexican nationals. Is this what Tony went to the hospital to pick up?
See. Oh, my God.
What is it?
Tony's insulin, CJ.
Oh, I prayed he would still have it. He needs a shot every day. Without his shots...
Yes, I know. He'll go into insulin shock. I mean, we've got about 48 hours to find him. Or he'll die. Let's don't worry. We're going to find him, Mark.
Need some help?
Please, I'm looking for Inspector Corey McFadden.
Well, I'm his deputy, Vincent Garcia.
Matt Houston.
Nice to meet you, Houston. What can I do for you?
Well, I tell you, I need some information about a sweep that took place earlier today. It was in the Garment District, a place called Brady's. I understand McFadden was in charge.
Mm-hmm. So?
Well, there's a boy. He disappeared about the same time, same area. I thought maybe one of the officers might have seen him.
Well, sir, we do make several sweeps in the course of a day.
Look, this is the boy. His name's Tony Estrada. Now, he had a soccer ball. He was wearing brown pants and a jersey with the stripes on the sleeve.
Well, like I say, we make several sweeps a day. Faces all sort of blur together.
Yeah, well, look, maybe I could talk to one of the other officers.
Well, you have to talk to Inspector McFadden about that. He's the boss, sir. I saw him talking down the hall with Commissioner Gershwin.
Do I make myself clear, McFadden? I mean, the party is over.
Sir, that bottle in my desk, I just forgot about that one. I mean, after our last...
Don't you con me, McFadden! I can smell the booze on you from here. You're a boozer. You're a bellyacher. And you're a bully. And you're no way a righteous officer. Now, I don't know how you made your way through the system. But if you step over that line one more time, just once more, you're out of here quicker than an MX missile. And you can kiss your pension goodbye.
Won't happen again, sir.
I hear just one more rumor that you're out of line. And you're gone. Now, don't you have work to do, mister?
Corey McFadden?
Who wants to know?
My name's Matt Houston. I'm a private investigator. I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
Shoot.
Okay, look, I'm looking for a lost boy. I understand you made a sweep earlier today in the garment district.
Oh, yeah, I guess we did. Why, you think, we picked up this boy by mistake?
Well, I know it's a little far-fetched, but isn't it possible?
No.
You mean tell me that there's no chance?
What kind of brainless idiot you take us for down here, huh? We're damn careful, boy, considering what we're facing.
Listen, Tony Estrada is a very special case. The boy is retarded and a diabetic. Now, it's very possible that without his insulin, he could be scared, confused, act very similar to the aliens that you pick up.
Don't try to tell me my business.
I am not trying to tell you your business. I'm trying to find a handicapped boy.
No, I never seen him.
You're sure?
You deaf?
Listen, if you remember anything that might help me, I would appreciate it. This is where I can be reached. It's been a real pleasure.
This is Inspector Corey McFadden in L.A. I need to know what happened to that herd of aliens that we hauled out of the garment district noon today.
Now?
Yes, right now.
They'll be shipped out on a bus tonight at 10 o'clock.
Next.
You've got a choice. You can stay here and prove you're not an illegal alien, or get on that bus and go home to Mexico. If you decide to stay and you can't afford an attorney, son? You speak English?
Soccer.
Soccer. Sure. You play soccer back home? You'll take the bus.
CJ, I have checked every local, state, and federal halfway house, hospital, adoption agency. Nothing. I even checked the morgue.
Well, that brings us back to the INS sweep yesterday.
Yeah, just the fact that Tony's running out of time.
Houston, you wanted me to get information on Corey McFadden. Now, what I found out is for 12 out of 15 years, he was a top-notch cop.
What happened the last 3 years?
Last 3 years, he went downhill. Absenteeism, maltreating the aliens, that sort of thing.
That's interesting. Well, yeah. A good man, after 12 years, had hit the skids.
Well, if you read between the lines, it's booze.
Maybe it's about time for me to have another chat with Inspector McFadden.
You think he'll give you any information?
Well, if he won't, I'll find somebody who will.
Detective Houston was back in asking questions.
So? We got nothing to hide, boy.
No. She's dead, Corey. The girl you... in the alley yesterday, I just got a phone call. You killed her.
All right. So she's dead. I told you it was self-defense. One of them pulled a knife.
It wasn't self-defense, it was rape. Besides, that young kid saw everything.
That kid is history. He's down in Mexico by now. Alone. Nobody knows him. And nobody, not even Houston's gonna be able to find him down here. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
The boy's sick, Corey. He doesn't know what's happening to him. He's a kid. It's not right.
It's not right. I'll tell you what's not right. It's not right for them to come up here and take American jobs away from Americans. And not right to crowd our schools and to sponge off our welfare. And mess with our women.
They're human beings, Corey. If you live like them, you try and make it across that border, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. You're one of them, ain't you? Deputy Garcia.
That's right, Corey. And proud of it. My family was here long before the McFaddens ever left their potato patch in Ireland. Excuse me.
Don't do anything stupid, boy. You hear me, Garcia?
Excuse me, senor.
You got problems, amigo?
Matt Houston, please. Mr. Houston, this is Deputy Garcia, INS. I've been thinking and... well, I've got something you'd like to see.
I'm on my way.
No, not now. My office tonight, 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Come in. You want to see you come?
No.
I should have talked to you before. Look, I just got out of the academy. I mean, McFadden's my boss, and you're not supposed to go over your boss's head, but this is different.
Do you have any information on the boy? Please, I'm running out of time.
You were right. We picked up the boy during the sweep of that neighborhood. It was McFadden. The kids saw him. There was this young girl. McFadden pulled her out into the alley, and he beat her up real bad. And I guess the kids saw what else he did to her. I mean, he would have killed him, too, if I wouldn't have come when I did.
What do you mean, too?
The girl is dead. McFadden had her shipped out. She was illegal. I checked on it, but... man, she died before she got across the border. No one here knows about it yet.
Where is Tony now?
Probably Tijuana.
Well, whereabouts in Tijuana? I mean, a police station?
Bus drivers, they just dump him anywhere.
CJ, listen, Tony is in Tijuana. Find his mother and get his insulin for me, and I'll keep in touch, all right? Listen, I've got one more question. Why did they pick Brady's place that particular day for the raid?
That day, McFadden had made real careful plans for sweeping the valley. He gets this phone call, does a complete switch, and we hit Brady's.
Any idea who made that phone call?
No.
Does the name Murdoch mean anything to you?
No, afraid not.
I have a funny feeling it does to your boss. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. hell?
Easy, easy. He's just taking himself a little siesta.
I had to tell him, Corey.
Yeah, I know you did, Vincent.
The boy's sick. He's gonna die unless...
Unless somebody finds him. I know he is, Vincent. And that is why nobody is gonna find him. Homicide, please. Homicide? This here is Inspector Corey McFadden over at INS. I want to report a murder.
Come off of it, Hoyt. I mean, I had as good a reason to kill Garcia as you did.
With one big difference. I wasn't found with the murder weapon in my hands. You were.
It is a frame. Take a look at the knot on the back of my head. If you want a good suspect...
Hey, get off the McFadden kick. The man has worked here for 15 years. Now, you trying to tell me he wakes up one morning and decides to kill his own deputy?
Have you taken a look at McFadden's record? The man is not what I would call an Eagle Scout.
So the man's had a few problems for the last 3 years.
Problems? That man raped a Mexican girl in the Garment District yesterday. Now, today she is dead. Garcia knew about it. Now, McFadden killed him and framed me for it. Now he's going to go after the only person that can link him to that killing.
The little Mexican kid you keep mentioning.
The little Mexican kid happens to be a U.S. citizen who's going to die unless we get him some medicine in a hurry, and he'd better not get to him first.
Look, Houston, the source for all your information just got wheeled out of here in a body bag. Now, that makes your story a little hard to check out.
It happens to be true.
Look at it from my point of view. I have a very dead body on my hands. A federal officer, no less. Now, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but it looks like that officer was killed with your gun.
That's super. I mean, it's just great. You're going to arrest me for the murder. Nobody goes looking for the boy, and he just dies.
I have procedures I have to follow. Fellas, I have to take you in.
Hey, I am a big boy. I can walk myself, all right?
Well, how the hell could Houston get out? Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for telling me. Up about Vincent's murder, Commissioner. And honest to God, Henry, sir. All this murder business just got me turned around. I think I need some time off. I'm just too stunned to work.
That's just great, CJ. I mean, Tony's got about 2 hours to live, and there's no way I'm going to get past the Border Patrol now.
Houston, with publicity like that, you won't get past San Diego.
Well, CJ, you got to stop practicing the power of negative thinking. Head for the airport.
Which one, San Diego or LAX?
Neither. Willie Conklin's.
Crazy Willie Conklin? You've got to be kidding.
No, CJ, I am desperate.
Okay.
She's turning, Lieutenant. Stay on the tail, Owens. Sooner or later, Miss C.J. Parsons will take us directly to Matt Houston. Houston's been with her all along.
I'm a little worried about letting you try it, Houston. I mean, I just put it together. I'm not even sure it's going to work.
Yeah, well, I haven't got much choice. I've about run out of options, Willie.
Hit it, Owens.
It's dead.
Yeah, and so is a 15-year-old boy if we don't get it going. Now, come on, Willie, help me out.
Unnecessary, Owens. And also against the law.
What's against the law?
Shooting Houston's out of season.
Shooting Houston's out of season?
American official with the Justice Department. I got the authority to ask you to help me capture this criminal, Houston, before he causes trouble in your country like he did in ours.
Lo siento, señor, pero no hablo inglés.
Look, I don't understand the lingo, amigo. If you ain't literate enough to speak English...
Por favor, espérate.
Well, maybe you ought to get somebody here who can speak it.
Oye, Lopez, phone the Border Patrol station at San Isidro and see if there's any truth in that loudmouth story, huh?
boy you are looking for. I might be able to help.
Listen, any help you could give me would be greatly appreciated.
I know this guy. He might be able to help you find who you're looking for.
You lead the way, amigo.
Tony!
Thank you. Now, listen, do you speak English?
Oh, I speak English very good, senor.
You know, listen, have you seen this boy? He was deported by our immigration services.
Sorry, not lucky. I've seen this one. But he could be around. He from Los Angeles?
Oh, yeah, he's a U.S. citizen. He doesn't know his way around here.
That's not good, senor. I mean, muchacho, he could be anywhere.
Listen, I've talked to everybody I can, and I can't seem to get a line on him. If there's any way you could help me, I'd greatly appreciate it. Take me to the soccer stadium. Wait here for me, all right? Tony! Tony? How you holding up, buddy? Okay, just take it easy. Buddy, you'll be just fine now.
End of the line, hombre.
How are you gonna explain this one away, McFadden, huh?
It's Mexico. Don't make no difference, though. You're the fugitive from the law, and I'm the law.
What about the boy?
Get caught in the crossfire. Very sad. Tragic, in fact.
Señor! Señor, it's all over!
My ball! Don't you worry about your ball. We'll get you another one, okay?
Thanks to you, Mr. Houston. Murdoch's days of running illegals over the border are over.
I don't know how to thank you enough, Senor Houston. It's so good to have my Tony back home.
Oh, hey, Houston. Why didn't you tell me Tony here was a whiz at checkers?
Well, actually, that's Tony's second favorite pastime, which reminds me, I wonder where CJ is. Well, here she is now. Tony, I promised you a soccer ball, and I figured you could use a couple extras.
Here you go.
Go.
Now you know why I don't permit shooting Houstons out of season.
Jim, where are you?
I'm across the street in the mall.
Well, you just stay put, and I'll get there as soon as I can, all right? CJ, get a hold of the police and tell them to meet me over there, all right? And it's good to have you back.
Houston.
Jim, what's this all about?
That's the crazy part. It's all so crazy.
What are you talking? What's crazy?
Marilyn, and I love her, and she loves me. Save Marilyn. Don't let them hurt Marilyn.
Well, I won't, Jim. Marilyn, who? How do I find her? Jim.
Marilyn.
My ticket, Einstein.
No problem.
Buddy, I'm gonna have to take this car.
Hey, no problem.
Cal. Come on, punch this thing.
You know something? You're an easy guy to find. You leave dead bodies and wrecked cars everywhere you go.
I'm fine. Next time I pursue some criminals, I'll make sure they're a little more refined.
That's right. Be a wise guy. And end up in a metal cage downtown.
Come on, Hoyt. Now, we've been all through this.
Yeah. Guy calls you a half an hour ago. He's in a panic. Somebody's trying to kill him. You rush over, he's dead. You know what? Got 12 witnesses. Most of them think you shot him.
Now, would you just forget about that for a minute? What about the Marilyn thing?
Oh, stop them before they get Marilyn. We don't want to forget about her. But don't worry. We'll check all the Marilyns in his life. You know Pascual Martinez?
Yeah. He's the parking lot manager for my building.
He's on his way to the hospital. He was thrown in front of a car. They don't expect him to live. You private cops are like lightning rods. You draw trouble.
Pascual's got to live, CJ. The man who's got 6 kids, one of them's not even a year old.
Houston, the doctors are doing everything they can.
Houston, I took the liberty of breaking up the poker game. I've got baby all set to go in the Jim Kirby file.
Not now, Murray. Listen, CJ, I want you to get in touch with the people who run the Houston Employees Fund. Just make sure that Pascual's family's got everything they need.
You got it.
I think you're going to want to see this, Houston.
Murray, I thought when I made you president of Houston Industries that taking care of all these businesses would keep you busy.
Well, they do. I just figured maybe once in a while I could help you with some detective work.
Murray, when the police find out who the Marilyn was in Kirby's life, they are bound to find an irate father, a jealous husband who shot him.
That's just it, Houston. Lieutenant Hoyt called while you were with Martinez at the hospital. There was no Marilyn in Jim Kirby's life.
Wait, what do you mean, no Marilyn?
Not that they could come up with it, since they know that Kirby worked here.
I get it. So Hoyt figures he can get more from our files than he can from his own.
Yes, I'll hold. That makes sense. Kirby worked in a security-sensitive area.
James Kirby, 32 years old, single, computer programmer, Houston Trust Funds, formerly Houston Industries.
Is there anything about Marilyn on the file?
Unfortunately, the only Marilyn of any note in Kirby's life that Baby could come up with was Marilyn Stein, Kirby's fourth-grade teacher, White Beach Elementary School, 1960-61.
Murray, people don't die for their fourth-grade teachers.
Right, so I figured we'd better keep digging. Houston, I think we hit pay dirt. The late Mr. Kirby earned just over $54,000 last year, almost as much the year before.
And?
Financially, everything in his life was fine until about 8 months ago, when money started disappearing out of his accounts like money was water and somebody turned a faucet on. When the man died in the pavement this morning, he was over $100,000 in debt. They'd already shut off his phone and were about to repo his car.
We got any information on where all that money went?
Not in Baby. Figured that's what you might be interested in finding out. That, and who Marilyn is, and if the two have any connection.
Martinez. Martinez. Yes, he managed the parking lot. Mm-hmm. He was the head of a family of 6. The oldest was 9.
Listen, have you got an address on Kirby?
Jotted it down just in case.
Okay, thank you all. I'm sure that Mr. Houston will be interested to know what the fund has to offer the family. Thank you. Bye-bye.
CJ, first thing in the morning, I want you to get a hold of Toomey and have him hit the streets, find out all he can about Kirby.
You looking for anything special?
Well, yeah. A man that spends that kind of money, like Kirby, has got to be hooked. Maybe in 2 different ways, drugs or gambling.
Anything I can do.
Yeah. Murray, the 6th floor, data processing. Talk to the people who worked with Kirby. Find out...
Anything I can. Especially if there was a Marilyn in his life.
Right. Meanwhile, I'll see what I can find in Kirby's apartment.
While trying not to do anything illegal.
Perish your thoughts, CJ.
Still at it. I told you guys we should have done this last night.
Oh, you don't understand. We weren't told to do it last night.
Yeah, I know. Reardon was too crazy drunk.
Luther's right. You know this whole thing with Reardon and Marilyn is right off a banana boat. He's gonna get us killed.
Oh, what the hell? Mr. Reardon, you shouldn't be here.
I needed to see you. I'm under a lot of pressure. There's questions about why Kirby was killed. Until it eases up, I want you to camp out near the Hatteras house.
And keep an eye on Marilyn?
Till it's over. What about Kirby's apartment?
Well, we haven't been able to get in there yet. The cops are still talking to other tenants.
Have they been in there?
Not yet. They got the place sealed. I think they're waiting for detectives.
We gotta get in there before the cops do. Torch the place.
Mr. Reardon, there's nothing we can do until they leave. Unless you want us to kill them both. Mr. Reardon, you pay me good money to protect you. You'd be a lot safer away from here.
I'll see you at the Hatteras house and shoot you. Only kill the cops if they start to search the place. They can't find any trace of Marilyn.
They won't, Mr. Reardon.
going right to the Hatteras Street house.
Right, you guys are on your own. He wants me to babysit the broad.
I'm telling you, the man's nuts.
You think this one's nuts? You should have seen the one he had before Marilyn, right? He had this hooker look just like Greta Garbo. Had her all decked out like a silent movie queen.
Then he told her not to talk, so she'd be like the real thing.
And one day she made a mistake. Garbo talked. After he got done roughing her up, he cut her tongue out.
Houston. Yeah, as if we didn't have enough trouble.
If he's still around when the cops leave, kill him.
You got it.
Hello, Daddy. I missed you.
I ought to kill you. Understand that? I ought to.
I told you I was sorry. It'll never happen again, Daddy. I promise.
Why do you always have to be such a tramp? Always like in those movies.
I don't make movies anymore, Daddy. I gave them up for you. You know that.
I must be mad. That's what it is. I'm bloody mad. I've given you everything, this house, your car, money. And now I've killed for you. A man I shouldn't have killed, not if I want to stay alive myself.
Jim's dead?
Oh, he's dead. Let me tell you a little secret, darling. The dead are so damn lonely. You want to be lonely, Marilyn?
No, Daddy. I want to be good for you. Please, let me be good.
Dick Tracy. I'll take those pictures.
I had a funny feeling I'd be running into you fellas again.
Yeah, let's get this over with.
telling you is that I am sick and tired of following your trail of dead bodies around.
What was I supposed to do, Hoyt? The two guys were gonna kill me.
In an apartment sealed off by police. An apartment you had no business being in the first place.
Hoyt, if you're going to accuse him of any wrongdoing, you'd better read him his rights.
Listen, Counselor, let me tell you...
Lieutenant, now I tried to be nice and let you talk to him while I was patching him up, but being nice didn't work, did it? Therefore, out.
What?
Out! You're a lucky man, Mr. Houston. Quarter of an inch to the right, it would have severed your artery, meaning you probably wouldn't have been here, and I'd still be watching my soap.
Sorry to inconvenience you, Doc.
Don't mention it.
I won't.
By the way, that other patient you asked about, your parking lot manager?
Yeah, Pascual Martinez.
He's out of surgery, and it looks like he's going to make it.
Thank you.
All yours.
You know something, Private Eye? I could have your license a dozen different ways if I wanted to.
Yeah, well, you won't. See, because I have something you need, Hoyt.
You bet you do.
Well, let's start from the top, then. Now, first off, I got into that apartment, and that's where I found the photograph.
I couldn't have been in that apartment more than a couple minutes before I saw the photograph.
Of Kirby and Marilyn Monroe.
I didn't say it made any sense. I'm telling you what I saw.
Houston, do you get the feeling that the good lieutenant doesn't believe you?
I just wish he saw more or remembered more.
I saw everything. I remember everything. I'm telling you everything I know.
Right. You probably saw a photo of Kirby and maybe even a blonde woman. In the confusion and shock of taking on a bullet hit, your mind made a connection between the blonde woman and
the name Marilyn.
Right.
Are you saying Houston is hallucinating?
It wouldn't be the first time, even for a trained professional. You know what I mean?
Forget about Marilyn for a minute. Who do you think shot Kirby?
I don't know. But the man you killed in Kirby's apartment was a syndicate muscle. Now, the captain figures that the syndicate has tidier ways of killing people than shooting them down in public malls.
Kirby is tied to the syndicate? Well, if they're that desperate to kill Kirby, it must be just the tip of the iceberg. Well, Lieutenant Hoyt came through. Louis Y. Richter, otherwise known as Eddie the Hammer.
Charming nickname.
Well, according to the police record, he's not a very charming man. 14 out of 20 of his adult years were spent in the slammer.
Any specialties?
Hurting people. Hoyt was right. He's a syndicate muscle man. His stint in San Quentin was because he crushed a man to death with his bare hands.
Who's he working for now?
Well, according to the file, he's a bodyguard for this fellow.
It's Tommy Reardon.
You know him?
He's a middle-level syndicate boss involved in everything. Drugs, prostitution, you name it. Everything he's involved in, that man has never spent a day in jail.
You'd think that someone like that would make a mistake somewhere down the line.
You know, he's made lots of mistakes, CJ. He's just what you would call well-connected, starting with his father-in-law.
Hold it. That was my next presentation. L. Douglas Mitchell. He's known as the West Coast Godfather. Rumor has it he really doesn't like Reardon, but Reardon married Daddy's only little girl.
Yeah, well, the question is, what's the syndicate have to do with killing Jim Kirby and a computer programmer and this whole Maryland thing? I don't suppose you came up with anything we use?
Well, I wish I did. But all the questions I asked on the street dealt with Maryland, and I'm still waiting for the answers. You sure the syndicate boys are tied to this?
Positive.
I was going to make myself a couple of ham sandwiches and chase them down with a six-pack. But with this new syndicate thing, I guess I got a whole new line of questions to ask.
Nice to see you two, Mean.
Mm-hmm. Later.
Thank you. Yeah. I think you can afford to miss a meal or two, don't you?
Okay, where do we begin?
Right where Jim Kirby wanted us to begin. Finding Marilyn. Now, I recognized a pier in a couple of those photographs I saw at that apartment. I think we better start there first off in the morning.
You're late. I have business that I... So important you miss your son's confirmation? One of the holy sacraments of the church? I'm sorry, Douglas. It was unavoidable. This is a lovely spread. Young Tommy will always remember this. Why was Mr. Kirby killed? We're all making a lot of money through him. Oh, can't that wait, Douglas? This is such a happy occasion.
Was Kirby killed, Thomas?
Security reasons. Kirby was going to go to the police. We had no choice.
Why don't I believe you?
Well, it's the truth. I had to have it done.
You have a lovely family, Thomas. My daughter, grandchildren. If you ever do anything to hurt them, or if I find out you've lied to me.
I told you, Douglas. It's security reasons. Excuse me, Douglas, please. Thought I'd given you orders never to disturb me with the family.
Richter's dead, Mr. Reardon. At Kirby's apartment. He was taken out by Houston.
You won't give up?
He found the pictures of Kirby with Marilyn at the apartment.
What?
Well, we got him back. But he already saw him.
You watch, Houston. If he starts to get close, if he finds Marilyn, I don't care what it takes. Find outside help if you have to, but kill him!
I've washed the car 3 times. How much longer do I have to stay out here?
Well, you heard what Mr. Reardon said. If you get tired of washing, start waxing.
Next thing you're going to be telling me is there really is a Superman. But that lady, she's a dead ringer for Marilyn Monroe.
I mean, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
It does?
Yeah, from what I found out, Reardon just can't help falling for old movie stars. He finds hookers that looks like them, makes them play the part, and then lavishes them with gifts, money, you name it.
I wonder if Reardon's father-in-law knows about Marilyn.
That's a very good question, CJ. Listen, what else did you come up with on Kirby?
Plenty. You tying him up with the syndicate, that was the key. Word is, Kirby was a penny ante gambling man. Then about 6 months ago, he met up with Tom Reardon, and they became best of friends.
Oh, and let me guess then, right? All of a sudden, he hit a terrific winning streak, right? Started increasing the size of his bets?
You got it. Then Reardon gave Kirby unlimited credit and introduced him to the wonders of hard drugs.
That's when the bubble burst.
Like an atom bomb. And when all was said and done, then Kirby wound up with $100 grand worth of gambling debts.
But Houston, now Reardon, meaning the syndicate, had their hooks into Kirby. But, I mean, so what? What's the point?
CJ, listen, what I want you to do is go back, talk to all the people that worked with Kirby. Find out what he was spending his time on.
Okay, where will you be?
I'm gonna have a little talk with Marilyn.
And what about that goon Gardner?
I'm glad you asked me that, Toomey.
Hey, Bud.
Yeah?
You got a phone call.
What are you talking about?
Over at the restaurant, some guy's on the phone, says he wants to talk to the guy parked down the street in a beige coupe.
Hey, that must be some mistake.
Says his name is, Reardon.
Reardon?
Why didn't he? Look, you gonna take the phone call, or do you, want me to tell him you're not interested?
No, I'll take it.
Hey, Bud, this Reardon fella, he says it'd be $20 in it for me.
Am I going crazy, or are you...
Why do you think you're going crazy?
Well, if I didn't know better, I could swear that you're Marilyn Monroe.
Maybe I am.
Yeah. Well, most people think you're dead. Kind of like Jim Kirby's dead.
Who are you?
I am a friend of Jim's. Just before he died, he told me that he loved you very much, and I was supposed to find you because you needed help.
I don't need any help.
Listen, Marilyn, or whatever your name is, you can't run away from this thing.
Please, there's nothing I can tell you.
Of course not.
Mr. Reardon, you were right about making Marilyn stay out front all day and wash her car. Houston found her. He's with her now.
Listen to me. Reardon and his friends wanted to hook Jim. Now, they used gambling and they used drugs. They probably used you. You were the bait, weren't you?
That's not true. I would never have done that to Jim. I loved him. He was the only one who ever...
Yeah, just listen to me for a minute.
You men always think you're so right, and you're always so wrong. Jim, he would be alive now if it wasn't for me. I wasn't the bait. Are you crazy? Jim was killed because Tommy found out about us.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. You can help me put Tommy Reardon in jail for killing Jim. But you got to wake up. You can't go on playing this role the rest of your life. I need your help. Change your mind. This is my card. Please give me a call. Now, CJ, your timing's perfect. What'd you find out at the computer center?
Plenty. When I arrived, Hoyt had already been there. Houston, what do you know about computer theft?
Well, just that one computer is used to gain illegal entrance to another computer's file.
You got it. The reason that Hoyt wanted to get a hold of Kirby's files is because the police department and the FBI were coordinating an investigation. It appears that our computer whiz kid, Jim Kirby, was using the Houston Company computers to tap into, listen to this, Houston, the master computer for the stock exchange.
That could be worth millions of dollars.
Well, that explains why Reardon and his friends worked so hard to hook Jim.
The irony is that the police department feels that they would never have been able to unravel the scam if it wasn't for Kirby's death pointing them in that direction.
And now that Jim's dead, there's no way to tie the syndicate into it.
So the syndicate just goes scot-free and life goes on.
Well, it looks that way.
Well, maybe not.
Houston, I don't like the look in your eye.
Houston, what do you have in mind?
Well, it's called revenge, folks. See, I don't like people running around hurting my friends.
If the police can't do anything, what can you do?
Try this on for size. Now, Reardon had Kirby killed in a fit of jealous rage, right?
Right.
Well, when he did that, he cut the syndicate and a not-so-loving father-in-law out of a whole bunch of potential income. Now, what do you suppose they would do if they found out the truth about that?
Well, whatever it is, it wouldn't be terribly pleasant.
Yeah. Do mean I want you to hit the streets, put the word out. I want to have a meeting with this boss man, Reardon's father-in-law. Tell him all about Marilyn Monroe and why Kirby actually was killed.
Houston, when Reardon finds out about this, he's going to come after you.
That's what I'm counting on, CJ.
Oh. How in the hell did you know I wasn't one of Reardon's guns?
Because since midnight last night, I've had every entrance to this place monitored with video equipment.
Security informed us before you ever got out of your car.
Now, that's fine. So you're safe as long as you're in the building. But what happens when you go out in the street? I don't have enough cops in the city to protect you.
I'm not looking for protection, Hoy.
You're crazy. Houston, you know if you're right about Reardon and why he killed Kirby, do you know you're leaving him no choice? He has to come and get you?
We've got nothing on Reardon. Now, if he comes after me, then we can possibly get him for attempted murder. Now, in any case, you'll have him behind bars.
And when that happens, Reardon knows that it won't be very long before the syndicate finds out about Marilyn and James Kirby and why Kirby was killed.
And Reardon will need protection from his own.
That's right. Now, the way I feel about it is before very long, you're going to have everybody that's involved in this whole mess on the silver platter.
Houston investigation. Yes, just a moment.
This is Houston.
Mr. Houston, I've changed my mind. I want to talk. I want Jim's killer punished.
Well, that's good. Listen, when and where can we meet?
There's an alley behind some warehouses on 5th and Ocean.
That doesn't sound like a very safe place, so why don't we pick some place that you've been to before, like the pier?
All right.
I'll meet you there in the parking lot of the pier in an hour.
I'll be there. Did I do all right, Daddy?
You did just fine, darling. Just fine. I'm gonna miss you.
What do you mean? You said after you talked to Houston, made him stay away, we could go away.
You really are as dumb as you look, aren't you? Beautiful Marilyn. It's always such a shame to kill something so beautiful.
Kill? What? Kill me?
It's a question of priorities. I can't afford to let you and Houston live.
You can't. I'm Marilyn. You love me. You can't kill me. Please, you wouldn't kill me. It's a joke. That's it, isn't it? It's a joke. Oh, Tommy, you and your sense of humor. I try to tell my friends how funny you are. I won't go. I won't let you do it. I won't let you kill me like that.
You see such a handsome lad growing up fine and strong in Colorado.
Give me that.
And your parents raising him like he was one of their very own. That's fine Christian charity.
Leave Patrick out of this.
You're a slut and a whore. An abomination to God's purpose. You don't deserve to live. Now, Marilyn, you're gonna do exactly what I tell you to do today, or young, handsome Patrick's gonna wake up without a face.
You all right?
I'm okay. Houston, I'm sorry. They're gonna kill us. They made me do this. They're gonna kill my little boy.
Take it easy, all right?
At long last, we meet, Mr. Houston. Afraid we're gonna take a little ride out to the desert.
Well, it's awfully decent of you, Reardon, but no thank you. Really, I've got my own ride.
Honest?
Reardon!
Well, in 2 hours from now, you'll be in San Francisco.
Just one more face in the crowd getting off the plane. No more Marilyn.
Well, Marilyn's gone, and so's that part of your life. Listen, look, there's a couple dollars in here, just enough to get you started. Now, go on, take it, really, please.
Well, just 2 hours to a new life. Just 2 hours. But a long way from here.
That's why we figured maybe you could use a little company. Take a look over there.
Mommy, Mommy!
See, we got in touch with your folks in Colorado, and they seemed to think that you'd be just fine as long as you had your little boy with you.
Oh, baby, let me see you. Oh, you're just beautiful.
It's awfully nice.
Yes, it is.